Hello, Jermaine Andre here, and I want to just go over a little bit about why the martial arts fails today. Um, Traditionally, the martial arts, when you went to join a martial arts school, you were supported by your family, everyone in your family, and you were actually given gifts to take to that martial arts school. And you would go there and you would bow into the sensei, and you asked to be accepted. So you weren't accepted, you couldn't buy your way into a martial arts school. And when you were asked to be accepted, you would not be accepted. This would usually lead to days, maybe weeks of kneeling and praying on the front steps of that martial arts school to be accepted. And while you kneeled and prayed, they would come out and throw dirty mop water on you, kick you, do everything to try to get you to leave. And then once they realized that you didn't want to leave and they wanted to accept you, you would get brought in. Well, when you got brought in, it wasn't very nice. You would get brought in, you were actually bullied by the higher rankings. The higher rankings would give you beatings, you had to clean, you had to cook, you got treated like crap. And now the whole idea of this was to break down any ego of you thinking that you were somebody great, thinking that I already got it, I don't need to, because that's something that gets in the way of instruction. So they always made sure that you were torn totally down and that there was no arrogance in you so they could properly train you. But once they realized that you were strong enough and courageous enough to withstand the bullying that they put you through and the beatings that they put you through, then you got accepted into training. Training always started off with probably a stance for a month, 2 months. You got your stances, you got your footwork, one technique that you worked on and learned to master for months and months and months. The martial arts, these lessons were handed out, like diamonds. They weren't just given out, like a buffet as they are today. So this helped you to develop into a very powerful martial artist. This helped you to develop into someone who appreciated each jewel that was handed to you. And not only did you appreciate it, but each technique that you learned, you became really, really good at because you depended on it, you counted on it. You spent time learning to perfect it. You spent time allowing your body to perfect the movements and allowing your muscles, the memory in your muscles and your bones and your joints to say, hey, we've made this movement 10,000 times. We need to make this movement to survive. So we're going to make sure that everything dedicates to that move. We're going to make sure that the muscles explode into action when they need to and they relax when they need to. So this is the traditional way that the martial arts happen. Of course, when wartime came to where there was no longer about need of the karate chop hands, would just blast you, nuke you from here. The need for the martial arts died off, and the need for the sensei died off. So now, the sensei said, well, I need work. And so he started to try to train civilians because back in ancient times, of course, the martial arts was used for war. That's why the martial means war, the arts of war, martial arts. So when the sensei had to start training the civilians did not want to accept what sensei had to offer. Nowhere in the world they were going to pay to sit on some stairs or be bullied or anything like that. So sensei had to change things around. The sensei, Sifu, crew, whatever you want to call them, had to change things around to make it more appeasing to the general public, to people who just wanted to learn it for fun or a little bit of self-defense where they feel they may have to defend themselves once in their life. So this kind of watered down the martial arts, and it made it hard for anyone to teach true martial arts because it puts you in a position as a martial art instructor where you're either a good businessman and a salesman and you're selling people what they want, or you're a great martial artist and you're not giving them what they want, you're not selling them what they want, which is going to, of course, cause you to lose customers. So we have to understand as the martial arts, we talk about the martial arts, we talk about the commercialization of it, the degradation of it, how it's become weaker within time and things like that. And you have to understand that this comes because of the commercialization of it, and actually because of what the customer is now demanding. With the martial arts becoming a business, and the senseis and the sifus who truly do believe in teaching true martial arts, which means every time you ask a question, you probably gonna get told no and cracked in the head with a stick to toughen you up. They can no longer really survive in this world, this demanding world where people come in and say, here's my money, this is what I want. So, the martial arts schools that do great in business is because they become great businesses. And that's not saying there aren't great martial arts schools out there that are also great in business. But we have to understand if you are going to be a trainee of the martial arts, it is your sensei, your sifu, your crew, whoever, whatever you call them, your instructor, your trainer. It is their job to make things hard for you. It is their job to bully you. It is their job to confuse you. It is their job to make you afraid. You're supposed to fear your sensei. You're supposed to be worried when you go into training, because what they do is they bring these emotions in you, and then they teach you how to deal with and handle things while you're at this emotional state. But if you're not allowing your martial art instructor to bring you to this point of an emotional state, then you're not practicing the martial arts. You know, you're doing cardio kickboxing, you might as well go somewhere else. And all you're doing is you're spending your money on something that isn't true martial arts. So let's try to keep the martial arts true, and everybody understand that if you remember the traditionalism of where the martial arts came from, where it was the intention. You know, when I joined up with my senseis, when I joined up with my crew, I loved it when they brought a stick out and beat me to death. That showed me how much they cared for me. If my sensei wasn't beating me, or my crew wasn't beating me, I was a little worried. I said, man, is he mad at me or something? Does he not like me? You know, but when he came out with the stick, put it on me and kicked me and bullied me and kicked me over, I was on the ground, I almost cried, because I knew he cared. He cared about making me tough. He cared about making me strong. And if you've seen me fight, that's the element that came from traditional, true martial art training. So let's try to keep that alive.